Hello everyone, this is Crota giving you a shoutcast between Nani and Naama. Totally misspelled that over there. Let me go ahead and fix that for you. Naama. Color is green. Alright, yeah. Naama spawning as the green Terran player at the 12 o'clock position. Meanwhile, we have Nani spawning here as the pink Protoss. I am experimenting with a new microphone. Hopefully the effects are not too strong, and hopefully my microphone levels are as good as they're gonna get. I'm speaking about 2 inches away from the microphone, but fortunately I do already have a pop filter, so hopefully there's no like popping sound or anything like that, and hopefully my voice sounds a little bit more full. I did get that Shure SM58 for all you audiophiles out there, and for all you audiophiles as well, I'm using an Asus Zonar Essence STX as I accidentally hit my pop filter, causing a little bit of a sound. Anyways, we have Nani currently just saying good luck, have fun, and we'll see what these players try to open and try to go for. I've been seeing a lot of 13 gate and then followed by triple gate expansions. That's a very, very safe build for Protoss players as of late. Meanwhile, I've been seeing a lot of command center, barracks, early tech lab into Reapers. So Reaper is also a very, very strong opening, as well as it's able to deal a lot of damage towards those early zealots. Nani versus Naama here on Metalopolis. This is going to be ally spawn, and this is game 1 in a best of actually I don't know how many games are in the series, or if it's a best of 3, 5, or 7, so I will just say in a series, and hopefully I don't spoil anything for you guys. Probe and SCV now passing each other. We know that it is going to be a close expansion or a close spawn here on Metalopolis, and we'll see what these players try to go for. We should be getting an orbital command in just a moment. Oh no, Naama not opting for the orbital command. Instead, deciding to go into a 16th SCV. That is not your normal standard play by any means, as we are now getting that gateway and that cybernetics core over here. We do have a fair amount of energy on the Nexus, but probes are still being trained. So I do not imagine that this is going to be a 4-gate unless the probe production actually stops. 1 more would be just enough, and no. Also, with that second assimilator, I do not believe he's going to be trying to go for any 4-gate strategy at all. Perhaps just trying to save as much chrono boost energy for that warp gate research. A very, very important research there, as we are now getting Marines trained up over here. We also see a factory being placed down, so Naama not going for that fast Reaper, instead opting to go for an early factory. And with that early factory, he may try to get some early Hellions, or may even try to go for a Marine tank. Marine tank is very, very strong against a Protoss player who is expanding a little bit too quickly. But I don't think that Nani is going to fall apart in this particular place. And alright, I accidentally forgot to turn this off. I can go ahead and turn this off now. But yeah, thank you, Akai Ringo, for that. My ideas on the patch 1.3 patch notes. I don't think they'll be implemented. I did talk with David Kim about my ideas on the patch notes, and he says that Blizzard really wants players to use that warp gate research to try to make them a little bit more different than Terran play. Zerg is already a very different race in how they train units, but Protoss and Terran were too similar in their discussions. Also, an SCV now trying to make its way out. Looks like he will be able to head up that ramp in just a moment there, and enough damage just dealt to that SCV, unable to do any more scouting. And this may be a bit of an issue, as Nani now going to put pressure on this front door. There is Marines here, and now the Marines are going to be able to put pressure onto that Stalker. That Stalker being forced to turn around, and actually some critical damage was dealt towards that Stalker. No critical damage, but we are now also getting a Void Ray. The Void Ray is going to spell a lot of trouble, especially as we do not have any reactors. With no reactor in play, Vikings are not going to be coming out that quickly, and also Banshee should probably be cancelled. Stalker and Zealot will be able to make its way up that ramp. I do not see a proxy pylon anywhere to warp in additional units, and this is a very interesting build, as we are now going into a robotics facility. A very early Void Ray, perhaps putting some pressure on that front door, and this is the problem. Because Marines only have a range of 5, the Void Ray will actually be able to shoot down this supply depot and not take any damage from that one bunker. And now, Naama is definitely in trouble, now trying to come over. SCVs are nearby as well. Marines are jumping into that closest bunker here, but now supply locking Naama. As you can see just how much damage is being dealt, and this is such a brutal play by Nani. Nani making a fool of Naama at this time, as the bunker now just in position, but we now see 2 supply depots already down, sitting at 35 over 27. The cloaking research now underway as that Banshee making its way out, but an observer already being trained. The Banshee needs to get as many kills as he can to try to even up this fight, as this Void Ray now dealing a lot of damage. Marines trying to make the trek all over, but the Stalkers on the low ground gonna get a lot of damage as well. Marines unable to be trained. And now just a lot of bunkers over here. So those bunkers now trying to fight back. The Banshee is getting some damage onto those Stalkers, but no, Nani able to finish off that one cloaked Banshee very, very easily. And now a second Banshee still being trained, even though we do not have a Viking out. That is a horrible, horrible mistake by Naama. Naama needs to be able to counter this Void Ray. That Void Ray with already 8 kills. And now racking up even more losses this early in the game, and that's very, very difficult. Naama now trying to make its way out, and Nani just doing a great job pushing back and forth here. So that one Void Ray just racking up so much damage. A Cloaked Banshee now going after perhaps the Stalkers, and now going to get some damage onto those Stalkers as there's no Observer over here. The Marines are now going to be able to perhaps fight and get some damage onto those Void Rays, as the Banshee now trying to give chase and does need to return home, as it is running low on hit points. And now gonna come back here. So Naama still in a bit of trouble, but now that we are getting a Viking out, I believe this pressure will be relieved. Now at this stage, Nani has a number of options. He could try to go for a second observer and then get Immortals. Those Immortals are going to be able to deal a decent amount of damage against those siege tanks, and also get damage onto that bunker. Void Rays with only a range of 6. I remember during the beta when Void Rays actually had a range of 7, and how powerful that early Void Ray rush was, when a bunker with Marines couldn't shoot back at a Void Ray. That was always very, very painful. Siege tanks and a Raven now making their way out army-wise. 2,100 total resources by Nani. Meanwhile, we have Naama sitting at 900 and 1,300. So yeah, about a difference of 800 as this Banshee tries to sneak by. Not going to be able to get that much damage off, as there is already Stalkers down over here. Going to quickly cloak and then perhaps get some damage onto those probes over there. And now being forced to pull away, the Banshee does move slower than those Stalkers, but it does move faster than those other units over there. SCVs now coming off the mineral line as well, trying to auto-repair, unable to repair there, but there's also a turret, so an auto turret now coming in, and now the SCVs joining in on that fight, going after those Stalkers, and what a complete turnaround. All the SCVs are in an all-in attack. Naama pretty much knows that he has no chance unless he does something very, very drastic. And those SCVs are in a very drastic maneuver here. Siege tanks now making their way out. Siege tank a little bit out of position there, as those SCV, oh, that one Banshee unable to repair. And I believe Naama has just left the game. No GG at all. So Naama almost getting, or essentially getting cheesed here on Metalopolis. So Nani taking game 1 in this series, and stay tuned for game 2 between these two players. Game 1 very, very exciting, and we'll see if the game does continue out, or if Naama will be able to bounce back after a rather discouraging defeat here on Metalopolis.